black plumes of smoke rose over Lebanese villages on Monday after Israel unleashed its most widespread wave of airstrikes against Hezbollah targets as both sides appeared steeling themselves for all-out war. Israeli military spokesperson Daniel Hagari, in a video statement, urged Lebanese civilians to flee immediately from Hezbollah posts, such as those used to store weapons.
This is an advance warning for your own safety and the safety of your family.
Lebanon's health ministry on Monday said the Israeli attacks killed hundreds of people, including women, children and medical workers. Asked by reporters about a possible Israeli ground incursion into Lebanon, Hagari said the military will do, quote, whatever is needed in order to return residents evacuated from northern Israel to their homes safely. In a video published by his office on Monday, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant told Israelis that the country is deepening its attacks against Hezbollah and urged them to stay calm.
Ahead of us are the days when the public will have to show composure, discipline, and full obedience to the directives of the Home Front Command. The difference between success and failure lies in the fact that the citizens entered protected rooms and other places in accordance with the instructions we gave them.
Tensions hit new highs as the two sides traded cross-border fire over the weekend. Israeli warplanes carried out the most intense bombardment across Lebanon's south in almost a year of conflict, alongside the war in Gaza, with Hezbollah firing rockets deep into northern Israel. On Sunday, a dashcam caught the moment when a Hezbollah rocket hit the northern Israeli town of Kiryat Bialik. The Israeli ambulance service said that 3 people were injured in the blast. The cross-border conflict sharply escalated early last week after thousands of pagers and walkie-talkies used by Hezbollah members exploded in what was an unprecedented security breach. Israel has neither confirmed nor denied responsibility. On Friday, an Israeli airstrike on a Beirut suburb killed dozens of people, including children, as well as a senior Hezbollah leader and a commander, the armed group said. At a funeral on Sunday, Hezbollah Deputy Chief Naim Qassem told mourners, quote, "We have entered a new phase, the title of which is the open-ended battle of reckoning."
Eurozone business activity contracted sharply and unexpectedly this month. Data from a key survey released Monday also showed the bloc's dominant services industry flatlined, while a downturn in manufacturing accelerated. The preliminary composite Eurozone Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI, sank to 48.9 this month from August's 51. It was below the 50 mark, which separates growth from contraction for the first time since February and missed analyst forecasts. The downturn appeared to be wide-ranging. Europe's largest economy, Germany, saw its decline deepen, and France returned to contraction following August's Olympics boost. Overall, demand fell at the fastest rate in 8 months, while the new business index also plunged. A services PMI sank to 50.5 from 52.9, well below analyst projections, and that was despite firms raising charges at a shallower rate. Services inflation eased, and the output prices index also dropped to its lowest reading in 3.5 years. One leading economist argued the Eurozone is heading towards stagnation. But they also said news that both input and output price inflation has slowed down will be welcomed by the European Central Bank, which has closely watched out for persistently high inflation in services. The ECB cut interest rates again in mid-September and signalled a declining path for borrowing costs in the months ahead as inflation slows and economic growth in the Eurozone falters. The PMI covering manufacturing has been sub 50 for more than 2 years, and the trend continued as it dropped to 44.8. Business optimism also weakened, suggesting purchasing managers do not expect an imminent turnaround.
Boeing has made what it calls a best and final offer to striking workers. The plane maker on Monday proposed a 30% pay hike over 4 years. It also offered to reinstate a performance bonus and improve retirement benefits. However, the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers declined to even vote on the offer, which is contingent on being approved by Friday. Labour officials said it didn't go far enough and was just an attempt to divide union members. More than 32,000 Boeing workers in Portland and Seattle walked off the job on September 13th in the union's first strike since 2008. They're seeking a 40% pay jump among other changes. Now the stoppage puts Boeing under mounting pressure, threatening to cost it billions of dollars. That has frayed the company's already strained finances and put it at risk of a credit rating downgrade. Boeing has frozen hiring and furloughed thousands of workers in response. It's all just the latest event in a tumultuous year for the company, which began with a mid-air blowout on one of its 737 MAX jets. That incident put renewed scrutiny on its manufacturing quality, crimping its ability to up output of its best-selling planes. Separately Monday, the IAM said thousands of its workers have also walked out at Textron, which makes Cessna business jets. It all comes as North American unions capitalise on tight labour markets to win better deals. In 2023, pilots and auto workers were among those to score big raises.
Federal authorities want to charge Ryan Routh, the man accused of hiding with a gun at Donald Trump's Florida golf course, with attempted assassination. If convicted, he could face life in prison. Routh was arrested on September 15th and appeared in court Monday for a hearing. He was handcuffed and shackled at the waist in front of U.S. Magistrate Judge Ryan McCabe. Their prosecutors claimed Routh wrote a letter months earlier referencing an assassination attempt on the Republican presidential candidate and a $150,000 bounty on his life. According to a court filing, several months prior to the incident, Routh dropped a box off at the home of an unidentified civilian witness. It contained a handwritten letter that said, "This was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I failed you. I will offer $150,000 to whomever can complete the job." A lawyer representing Routh argued that perhaps the letter was a publicity stunt. Prosecutors also said Routh's car contained a handwritten list of dates in August, September, and October of places where Trump had appeared or was expected to appear. They added Routh assembled a sniper's nest near the 6th hole of Trump's West Palm Beach golf course in an attempt to kill him, and was only stopped when a U.S. Secret Service agent opened fire. Routh so far has been charged with possession of a firearm as a convicted felon and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. He has not yet entered a plea. After hearing from prosecutors, Judge McCabe ordered Routh to be detained without bond pending trial on the two gun-related charges. Trump, in a statement Monday, called Routh's charges inadequate, labeling them a slap on the wrist against a maniac assassin. The incident in Florida came 2 months after another gunman wounded Trump on the ear during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Sri Lanka's new leftist leader, Anuda Kumara Dissanayake, was sworn in as president on Monday, promising change as the island nation emerges from its worst economic crisis in more than 7 decades.
We have a deep understanding that we have got a challenging country. Our politics must be cleaner than this. There is a need for a political culture that people expect. We will commit ourselves to that. The public have a very negative view of politicians and politics.
Long led by powerful political families, millions of Sri Lankans voted for the Marxist-leaning parliamentarian.
Our main expectation is for the cost of living to reduce and the economic situation of the poor people to improve.
Disanayake's first task will be setting up a new cabinet and wooing Parliament, where his party has just 3 of 225 seats, and hoping to pass a budget under the terms of a $2.9 billion bailout from the International Monetary Fund. The country's economy buckled in 2022 under a severe foreign exchange shortage that left it unable to pay for imports of essentials including fuel, medicine and cooking gas. Before Monday's swearing in, Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena resigned to make way for the Prime Minister and his new cabinet. Gunawardena took over as Prime Minister in July 2022 after former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa fled and resigned amid protests unleashed by the crisis. Sri Lanka's sovereign dollar bonds shed 2.88 to 3.28 cents on the dollar in early trade on Monday, to bid between 49.14 and 49.77 cents. Investors worry Dissanayaka's desire to revisit the terms of the country's IMF bailout could delay future disbursements, and that could seek to renegotiate a debt deal with bondholders finalised last week. However, constitutional lawyer Bhavani Fonseca told Reuters with Sri Lanka's economic reliance on international assistance, she doesn't expect the new president to act rashly.
So he'll be taking a very pragmatic approach, at least for the next couple of months. How things play out in 2025 and beyond is to be seen, but I think at the most immediate, he's going to take a very practical approach.
Tanzanian police arrested 3 opposition leaders and a number of supporters again on Monday, their party and police said, over anti-government protests in the commercial capital Dar es Salaam. The main opposition party, Chadema's chairman, Freeman Bowie, was detained on the street. His deputy, Tundu Lissu, was taken from his home. That was amid plans to demonstrate against alleged killings and abductions of government critics. Both men were also briefly arrested, along with hundreds of supporters last month. On Monday, Chadema said another senior official and a number of party members were also arrested at their offices in Dar es Salaam. Police also took into custody 3 journalists covering the protests, according to their employers, with no reason given. The police were not immediately available for comment. Rights campaigners say President Samia Suluhu Hassan's government is targeting opponents ahead of local elections in December and a national vote in 2025. Police said in total 14 people were arrested for defying the protest ban. There was no immediate comment from Hassan's government, though it has previously said it defends democracy and does not tolerate brutality.